Gathering church tech artists has been a passion of Todd's practically his whole adult life. In the early days for Todd, he was doing a lot of this church work alone and didn't know if anybody else had the same struggles that he had.
You know, if you say, hey, how come nobody does this? Or how come no one's doing anything about X? That's probably a good sign that you're the person that's supposed to do something about it. And so I felt that very strongly.
FILO started in 2014, but in 2015, it was our first year of doing events. And so we zigzagged across the country.
They produced these one-day experiences, Chicago, Dallas, Seattle, and Denver.
Most of those events were pretty small. And so it was not a sustainable financial model to keep doing that.
I think we need to gather more people together, so that's a 2-day event. And then maybe let's only do it once a year so that I can channel all my anxiety into one time instead of 4 or 5 times.
In 2016, it's when multiple teammates kind of joined into this whole FILO thing, like myself, Dave Hunter, Delwyn Island. Did I say Nate Parker?
2016 was the first year that I was the technical director for that conference.
My name kept coming up as maybe he could do this. So they were like, we need to make this video. We need like an improv group to perform. We need an onstage host for the thing.
I remember being nervous. Would I be able to effectively speak the language that technical artists from around the country, would I be able to speak their language? I went out with my band and we led as though we were leading a worship set, and we did it nervous.
At that 2-day conference, I felt like we were able to get some traction in terms of what we were trying to accomplish with the conference. It didn't have to just be one day. We had extra time, and we could serve our community in a more full way.
The second Yellow Box Conference in 2017, I remember doing a song with Nate. Nate, at once upon a time, was a worship leader, and the room of technical artists got to see one of their own coming up on the stage.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
That was really a special moment.
2017 was actually the first time I ever hosted with Aubrey.
So Dave and I were still figuring out how to partner with each other.
And I gave her a gift that year. I got a migraine and got sick and had to miss the 3rd session, so she had to host alone.
It was bad news. He had like a horrible migraine. Ugh. God, I'm just gonna do it by myself and it's gonna be totally fine.
That room was just packed with people, and we probably won't fit here next year, so we got to come up with a solution.
2018 was explosive.
FILO moved to Willow. Felt like the conference was building momentum.
My home church and a place I've been on staff for a number of years.
2019, FILO had such massive momentum. We started producing a podcast. We started offering coaching.
We had done a parody this year. I don't know what possessed me or possessed somebody else to suggest to me that, you know what, instead of doing one song, let's do 5.
In the fall, we took it out to Anaheim, California. And 2019 is the first time we actually did a live stream. I think we had like 30 people on the live stream.
And I just remember the sense of excitement for what was ahead.
Okay, 2020. Yikes.
We called it a pivot, and that's exactly what it was.
Changing from this big in-person event to a completely online event. That pivot 6 weeks before the event, those 6 weeks, personally speaking, were like the hardest weeks I had ever experienced.
We were doing the worship where it was like the windows.
The stream goes live. We're sitting there like, this is a weird feeling. But as soon as the chat room opened, 900 people funneled into the chat room and all started lighting up the chat. And it was like, I'm in Argentina. I'm staying up all night in India. I'm in California. I'm in Chicago. We reached 74 countries.
Yeah, a worldwide audience of people that need the same things that the people coming in person need.
2020, we also published Todd's first book. And we also launched our new cohort initiative. In 2021, what we ended up producing was a hybrid event.
We were mainly doing that for the online audience, but we had an in-person sort of like studio audience
2022 and 2023, being able to open up the doors and host as many people as wanted to come to our event felt great.
The whole 10-year FILO journey is not anything that I could have ever imagined.
It's like undeniable that God is using FILO to change these people's lives.
Men and women being reminded that the core of who they are is not what they do on a Sunday morning.
You know, this is what God's called me to be about, for the purpose of helping others. I love telling the story because I always hope that somebody else will follow God's nudging and obey so that they can experience Him in a similar way.